Tim the Blacksmith, welcome here. Fantastic to have you here. This is our part 2 of the coal forge build. If you didn't see the first part, I'll put a link above. You can take a look at that. And I'm gonna jump straight into showing you what's going on. Here we go. So these are my papers here. These are the original, this is the inspiration forge. It was on eBay back in 2016. So that's, now looking at it, I realize how much I biffed it on the hood. This shape is way more different than mine. I actually like this better, but oh well. So this is what's going on for Tim. This is what he has to do. This is all I've been able to find. This part here, psych feels like so unsophisticated. I'm pointing to a picture through a camera. It seems weird. Anyways, I gotta make that part, but it's cast. I'm going to attempt to forge this, forge/fabricate. I'm gonna start figuring out material thickness, how I want to approach that process to make that part. So here's the full scale drawing. This is 1.5 inch flange that goes around it. And that's where the burner comes through this hole. And then what I'm gonna do is make up these two basically U shapes out of flat bar. And this is gonna be one flat bar and the other flat bar. And I'm gonna try to do this under the fly press and heat the plate up, that's this, and bend it like this. Hopefully we can get it. It's gonna be a pretty big jam session for the fly press, but we're gonna give it an honest go. I've got these two pipes over here, or actually they're not pipes, but just jigs I found. So this will be my ID and this will be my OD of those shapes, so I can just quickly bend those up. I actually just changed my mind on something and I'm trying to find some 1 inch round bar that I can use. What's in here? Nothing of value. Ah, blackberries. Gotta be something in here, right? That's what happens when you weld without looking what you're doing. my best work right there ever. Ha! 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 Put that on there like that. Bend this bad boy around. Whew. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Turn the forge off so I'm not working over that. All right, here we go. Forgot my hammer. That was smart. Work. Ish. It's really stupid to work on a jig that you can't put your fork on to tune it. So like a pipe like this, I could come in here like this, but the only thing I can do is tap a hammer, so I'm going to actually leave it there. See if I can. And then this section in here is pretty good. I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to heat it up again, but cool this section in here to here, and then I'll just be bending from here to here. If I keep bending like this, it actually starts to go like this, and this will come off. It's not a super good fit, but it's good enough for what we're doing. I actually need to put just a little bit more heat. Actually, you know what? It's hot. Hot. Hot tamales. Put the measuring tape. Okay, what are we supposed to be at? I don't even know. This thing's 11, so it's supposed to be 12. That is not 12. That's 12 and a quarter. All right. Get behind that. Pretty close. Just needs a little more heat. All right. Oh, too far. It'll work out. All right. I think that's pretty good. So that brings us to the part of the show where I'd like to thank today's sponsor. It's Unibrow Safety Glasses. They're giving a discount code today at Timothy Dick website. 10% off if you use the code I Look Ridiculous. You too could look like this if you bought these safety glasses. Go do it. Okay, here it is, folks. Here it is. Does it work? Gonna make my drawing all wet. Check this out. Oh, somebody made it a little bit too big, but I can get behind it. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I got to what they call tweak it. So I'm just looking over things here for the inside die, I guess it is. And this is 1.25 inches, and that's 1.5 inches over there, that other piece we made. And I wanted this thing to be stepped off more than 1.5 inches, if I could, hopefully. So I think what I'm going to do is take this plate here And I'm gonna use it kind of as a shim. I'm gonna just cut it like this. It'll be on the edges. And then I'll find another plate and stick it over here like that. And then that will press the inside down, and then when the top comes up, it'll flatten it all out. And that's exactly what we need. That probably makes no sense at all. But that's what I'm going to do, and hopefully it's going to work. Okay, so we got the jig set up here in the fly press. If you've never seen a fly press before, it's basically a play on leverage. It's got this big thread with really steep thread pitch on it, and then it's got the big weights up here, and you get it going you can either just work it with the handle or you can full swing it. And this is a number 6. They're rated by numbers, so the higher the number, the bigger it is. So we're going to be maxing this thing out 100% on this job. So this is the jig set up here. So we're going to stick the hot steel in here. And then it's going to be a 2-step process. So the first step is we're going to form up this 1/4 inch thick plate. And it's going to come up like this, like it'll just spill over the edge. And then we're going to, once we've got it set down to the bottom, then we're going to add on a plate here that will then take this lip that's folded up like this, and we're going to bring it down, and that'll make the flange, hopefully, to this piece. The reason I didn't build it all in one is just because we're maxing out, or at least I think we're maxing out this machine on the power. So we'll do step 1 and step 2 to try to be able to get this all done. So I'm going to grab the hot piece of steel from the forge, and let's see how this all works out for us. Pretty excited about it. It's the fly press, I used to have it mounted on my acorn table, the one outside actually, and that was really great because it didn't go anywhere. But this, we just put it on this not too long ago because I don't use it for a lot of heavy work anymore. And it's going to start walking on us if we got to really wail on this thing, so we'll have to mess around with that. I should bolt it down. I just haven't done that because I'm not 100% sure I want to keep it here. Let's get that piece of steel and get this thing going. Just iron it up that it looks good. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a pressure fill here. Okay, so I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to go back and get a good heat on it now and see if we can get this to bend. And then we might have to grab the rosebud and just introduce some really localized heat to help us out. So maybe I'll get it back in the forge and then we can set up with the rosebuds to just help out a little bit. Kind of a big day. Get to put a new rosebud on. Look at this. I don't know if you can see how bad this one is. Actually, you can see right through it. Bad boy. This one's done. Done a long time ago. So, for my rosebuds, I I actually run oxypropane for everything in the shop, just a decision I made instead of oxyacetylene. So these are oxypropane rosebuds. It's nice because you don't have to worry about the withdrawal rate on your tanks, whereas if you use oxyacetylene, you need to be careful that you're not withdrawing your acetylene too fast from your tanks. These guys have heated a lot of material. So this one's just got a longer wand, this one. I use them quite a bit actually. Wow, that thing just flexes, hey? All right, let's put some heat on here and see what we can do. Yeah, it's not very hot. Coming. It's a little bit different than I was hoping. The flex on this thing is insane. I don't know if you've captured that on video.
I just wanted to tell you.
Yeah, oh man.
Do it again and I can actually film it from this side.
Yeah, film it. I'm gonna heat it up again and we'll film it again. I'm actually just going to take it out. Just going to take it out and see how it looks. Needs a little bit more for sure, but see how everything's looking. It's a little bit short though. Should be like higher, should be like this, you know? Going to be a lot shorter than I wanted because I wanted to have about the top of the hole to be here when it slides up and then this distance above, and we're short by quite a bit. So I'm thinking about just restarting with this plate, make it a little bit longer so that we can do a better job of that before we get into doing any handwork and stuff on it, cleaning it up. So I'm just kind of thinking that through here. So I'm just looking at this. It's definitely too bad. But I want to restart better now than later. We've only a couple heats in really. We haven't done a lot of the hard work. So we're going to add 3 inches to the length because I want it to be taller. And then looking at how this is forming up here, I want to go another inch just to make sure I have enough material for the flange around the edge. It's definitely not a super great way, but it's just the way it goes when we're figuring things out on the fly here. So we'll cut another plate and pick it up from there. So I've decided that I'm just going to quickly tack these honking big plates on here. We'll just heat this thing up and that will do the job of compressing it all at once. I think it's going to work pretty good. So I'm just going to tack them on and we'll weld them up. Lynn. Wait, that was easy. That looks flat all the way around, hey? That's so cool. I'm gonna pull it out and see what it looks like here on the table. Yeah, it'll be okay. Okay, this is cooled off now. So I'm just going to start to do the layout to cut the flange out of this. And then we just got to drill our holes in it and cut the hole for the main nozzle to come through the burner. We're good to go. This is my extremely sophisticated trammel here. This. I can't see my line. Should have used a silver mark Sharpie. So I just got it all cut up, happy with how it's looking. I'm just gonna take it outside and just grind these edges, get it cleaned up, and then decide if we need to heat it up again and kind of just clean it up a little bit, or if it's gonna be okay. It's all ground up, really happy with how it's looking. And try to put it back in the jig and just see if I can flatten it out just a little bit better. See if that can get us cleaned up. Not too hard. Okay, so this is the plate here, finished up, and you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you. Functionality of it is fine, but to me it just looks a little bit kind of wissy, like thin in here. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put a flat bar around the edge of it here. I'll weld it on so that this thing looks super thick. We've come so far with making this forge look a certain way. I know it's a little bit crazy, but I think that's what I want to do. Actually, that's what I want to do. I'm going to try using this old roller I got at an auction. I actually never used it before. Actually, this is my material thickness here, 1/2 inch by 1.5 inches. So we'll put that on the backside like this. It's going to look super good. Oh, it's actually pretty heavy. I'm going to clamp it down on the table and see if it will work. One flick of this thing and it flipped the breaker. Oh, I do not like the way this is shaping up here.
Are you sure you're not going to break your arms?
That's exactly what I'm not excited about. Like,
You want me to hold on to?
well, what I don't want to do is screw us up. Okay, so this is the roller set up here just on the table. I got it clamped down with these clamps. And I don't know if you saw that. I was messing around. This drill came with it when I bought it. But this thing is so gnarly. It's 100% on or off. And I'm just looking at that like that's the best way to mess your body up. I think it has a ton of torque. So I'm just gonna try it with this hand bar. If it doesn't work, then we'll just go to a more hammer enamel kind of idea. But we're gonna give it a shot here and see. It's also broken a little bit in here, so this thing might drift a little bit. That might not work either, but I wanna see how it works before I invest any time into fixing it, right? We could do a whole bunch of things to make this better, but we'll try it today and see how it works. So I just got this thing tuned up good and done my layout where I'm just gonna cut these off, these little tabs here. Then I'm gonna weld that on and then just weld some straight section in here and then weld around the seam and grind it. The roller worked actually pretty good. It definitely would be worth the time to fix it up a little bit better, make it a bit more efficient so we can get this done faster, but not too bad. So this is finished up on the back. That's what that's gonna look like. That's awesome. This seam here, because of this plate, I'm hoping that when I bolt it, it'll suck it in tight so there won't be a big gap up here. So what I'm gonna do now is just figure out this dimension of the hole that I need to cut in here, slide it on, and then we can bolt it up. Definitely glad I went to the extra trouble of making that thick. Just looks more solid. And this is going to be 1, 2, 3/8. Good, as you see, use this zip disc to trace my circle. I don't want to freehand that. That is going to look so bad. Guess that's what we're going to do. Okay, that's how it's supposed to sit. I'm gonna take a look at this thing. Oh, that looks so good. The only part I'm a little bit unsure about is the cast ones have these big lugs where the bolts go in. I really like the way that looks. But of course it would be just fabricated, so if I put the round bar on, then I would have to weld around it and grind it and stuff. Like it should just be flowy like this, you know, this is sweet because it just flows in. If I would just machine, you know, 1.25" round bar and drop a hole through it, it could just come on as a washer. Okay, so I've just been humming and hawing like crazy over here about what to do. All the little details, hey? I just can't leave it, so I'm gonna, this is a terrible thing to show you with. 1.5". I'm gonna put these 1.5" kind of like washer lug things on, but I'm gonna put them down into the transition. So I'm actually gonna quickly throw this on the mill table and use the mill end and just come in and make a flat shoulder. It'll cut into here. It won't go very deep. Put my washer on, kind of slip in a little bit, and then we're just gonna use like a 1/2" bolt. But because of the mass of the washer, it'll look really big and substantial. It'll look kind of like the original one, just the transition will be crisp instead of like rounded. And I'm okay with that, it will look okay. So I just clamp this down here on the side beside everything. Hope that I can get out here to get this, and then I'll move it as I need to. So I'm just gonna get this thing wheeled over. This is where I start to cry because the power knee is down. Hopefully it won't be too big of a deal. All right, check it out. It's all done. So stoked on how that looked. That looks so cool. So glad I went with the thicker material. These guys are set in nice. Thing's ready to rock and roll. All right, I guess that's where we're gonna wrap this episode up for today. So thank you so much for watching. Would love it if you would subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date with what we're doing here. The forge is still, unfortunately, got a ways to go. We got to build the whole bottom nesting with the sand. We got to make a bracket up here for the fan that we have. We got to put gaskets and everything. And we still got to cut a hole in the top. So we're going to try to start doing that stuff on the next episode, get this thing finished up so we can get using it. But yeah, again, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Stay safe, everybody. See you later. 60 seconds, I gotta talk about unibrow safety glasses. The safety glasses have to not look cool. Well, today at Unibrow, they've ended that. Unibrow safety glasses. Not only are they extremely safe, they're extremely ergonomical. They actually hurt your ears a lot, but whatever. Neat looking line that really focuses on your nose. So when you have a nose like this, really accentuates it. You can't drink coffee without Unibrow safety glasses on. Now, drink coffee. I feel safe. Like I can't see anything because it's like all hazy on the sides. But you know, like, I feel safe. And that, folks, that's important. Feeling safe is better than being safe, you know? If you can't see what you're doing, as long as you feel safe, you're okay. If they're so great, how come I keep taking them off? Because it's when you have long ears, big nose. Oh, maybe that was the problem. This one wasn't pulled out. Ah, that is a lot better now. Discount code You could look like this. They should like that. Unibrow should like that. How much are they paying us for this sponsored? Oh yeah, the regular amount. Nothing. Okay, let's go.